What's up, everyone? Welcome to another show, another episode. I am your lovable host, the one and only Danny K at SonicFlare. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, it's Thanksgiving week in the United States of America, which means that there's three things you need to do. You need to be thankful for something. I'm thankful for you guys as viewers tuning in each and every week as I create these crazy lunatic episodes. Two, you gotta watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Steve Martin movie. Absolutely fantastic. And of course, gotta watch Chevy Chase, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Absolutely stunning classics. I mean, they're a must on every holiday. So check those out if you haven't already. To those of you that are new tuning in, this is a show where we cover all kinds of aspects of hi-fi with a different bit of a twist every now and then, other than the usual stuff that we discuss: vinyl records, hi-fi, phonograph, digital, etc., etc. Today's episode is a little different, and I've been kind of trying to figure out how to frame it up properly. What is it about? Well, it's about these guys. You probably have a pair. They're the AirPods Pro 2, made by lovely Apple. And, you would think that, okay, hey, there's another episode reviewing AirPods Pro 2. Been there, done that. There's so many techies out there. I mean, these have been out for, almost 2 years, I think. So it's been a while. They're fantastic. I've been using them for years and years. Mine are, of course, inscribed with the lovely 007 logo. Yes, of course, James Bond, for those of you in Rio Linda. And what can you say about these AirPods that hasn't already been said? I think they sound fantastic for what they are. They're tiny, right? I always chuckle when high-end audio starts talking about technology. We're a technology company. We make our chassis out of space-grade craft aluminum, as opposed to, like school bus-grade aluminum? I mean, I guess that doesn't sound as snazzy as space-grade. But anyway, besides the point. So yeah, there's more technology in these guys than there is probably in at least half of high-end audio cumulatively altogether, in my not-so-humble opinion. Feel free to disagree with me down in the comments below. Yes, drop a comment. And of course, please like and subscribe. It always helps the channel grow. I know that there's about 67% of you that are watching this channel but are not subscribed. Shock, gasp, awe. Would you please do that? Thank you. Back to our show. So, yes, the classic aspect of the AirPods Pro, with all of the Apple isms, the ecosystem, connectivity, they switch you from from a device that you're using, like say you're on your Mac, and then you're switching to your phone. They automatically follow you around without you having to switch and re-engage your Bluetooth settings. As I mentioned, they sound fantastic. I think the active noise cancellation that's built into these is absolutely astounding. It really is. I mean, yes, they have silicone tips to seal your ear and ear canal, but what they've done with ANC is, in my opinion, unbelievable. And of course, with the adaptive noise cancellation feature, so you can actually leave them open and hear your surroundings, but then when a loud sound comes at you, through you, they turn ANC on, and so on and so forth. I've traveled with these on airplanes. It's amazing. I think they're almost on par with the noise cancellation of the big AirPods Pro Maxes that I also have. They do Dolby Atmos, which I think is fantastic. I'm, one in the minority. Chris Conacher over at the former Computer Audiophile, now Audiophile Style, which I used to write for, by the way. Love what Chris does. He converted his entire hi-fi into an Atmos system with Wilson audio speakers and amplification and such. And I guess him and I and maybe a handful of others are in the minority of those that believe that, dude, high-end audio has been stuck in 1956 for entirely too long. And so, Dolby Atmos, man, it's really, really cool. Not only for movies, but for music. There's some wizardry and stuff out there. Hey, not like there isn't wizardry and stuff when you go watch the latest MCU series of the DC Universe, or whatever they're called these days, with all the nonsense, blue screens, green screens, screens of death, etc., etc. So, kitsch is everywhere. You have to filter through it to get to the good stuff. That's what I'm saying. And yeah, they're great. But the reason you tuned in for this episode in particular, my dear friends, by the way, shout out to my alma mater, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Fly Embry-Riddle. Got my little yellow logo right here. Any alumni of ERAU on the channel or watching? Are you familiar with ERAU? Gosh, seems like I graduated forever and a half ago. Anyway, besides the point. The reason you guys all tuned in today is for a part of the AirPods Pro 2 that no one, shockingly, not so shockingly, sarcastically, in high-end audio has discussed or even mentioned a bleep about, from what I can see or tell, and that is that AirPods Pro 2s with iOS 18.1 on your iPhone in the US and UK, or starting in the US and the UK, rolling out worldwide in the coming months, you now have the ability to take a clinical grade, medically approved hearing aid test, or hearing test, period. And then the AirPods Pro 2s, based on that analysis, can turn themselves into decent hearing aids that, are only $249 as opposed to the thousands of dollars that people spend on hearing aids, which I think is mostly a function of really two things. One, the person buying them is never the one paying. Your insurance pays for it. And so you hand off the cost to some unknown third party. Who cares what we charge? We're not paying for it anyway. And then two, I think there's really no competition, or very little competition, in the way of hearing aids. And, most of them are probably shitty and don't do as good a job as they could be. And so for $249, you can actually get a set of hearing aids if you need to, or the need arises to in the future. So what is it? How does it work? It's pretty simple and self-explanatory, right? I mean, typical Apple fashion, they've done a fabulous job of integrating it, making it so simple to take the test. It's in your menu section under your AirPods when they are connected to your iPhone. You go take the test. It takes about 5 minutes. I caution you to find a incredibly quiet place to take this test. In fact, it will alert you if the noise level, the ambient noise level, is too loud or too high. It will not allow you to take the test. The test tones that are coming through and out on your left and right ear are very, very faint at times. There's obviously louder ones, but the soft ones, you really have to concentrate to hear them. Again, it's a medical grade listening auditory test that's being performed that is sanctioned off by the medical establishment. And so, yeah, it's serious stuff, right? And why do I not, or why do I think that this has not been mentioned in HiFi and high-end audio circles yet? Well, because I think that most of high-end audio is full of nonsense, right? What do I mean by that? I think, and by the way, this is why I call this video HiFi Truth Tellers, because following taking this test and showing you what your hearing actually is capable of resolving, you'll quickly find out that likely, especially if you're a male in the older category or more mature category, more seasoned category, such as, for example, myself, I'm 53 years young, you will find that barring you have any medical conditions or any health issues pertaining to your ears, that you will have hearing loss, period, right? In fact, at the age of about 35, your ears really, if you're a man, start degrading pretty rapidly, pretty quickly. And it is a well-known and established fact that women, on contrary, or to the contrary, hear much better than men do. And that is simply because your high-frequency hearing really starts to drop off quite dramatically as you get older. And that is in a normal male person, right? That hasn't been exposed to loud noises, rock concerts, torpedoes going off, having served in the military, thank you. But, guns going off next to you or around you without hearing protection is a very sure way of killing your ears and, going through them very quickly. And so if you add that into it, well, then you are definitely going to hear, or rather not hear, things that you should be able to hear, right? And so I guess what I'm getting at is, I really would, for all of the industry that is involved in discussing hi-fi, audio, etc., record reviews, hi-fi reviews, mostly hi-fi reviews, I should say, to take this test with these AirPods and publish them, as I will in just a moment, as you will see, because it will tell us exactly the truth about your hearing capability, right? And so that opens up a whole can of worms that, people are probably not going to be comfortable discussing, not wanting to know, or rather tell others about their health conditions. I know that many people in the industry suffer from either tinnitus, are half deaf, or deaf completely, and yet they quack and talk about hi-fi and all that stuff day in, day out. And so my question is simply this, how can you trust someone with such hearing degradation to discuss about reviewing hi-fi products and what they sound like? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that. Should you pay more attention to the guy that's in his 20s reviewing hi-fi gear because his hearing is much more linear through the frequency range? Can you trust what a 78-year-old spiky-haired dude says about hi-fi when he likely can't hear past 2 or 3 kilohertz anyway? I don't know. I really don't know. Let's take a look, without further ado, at my results, and let's discuss them in real time, so to speak, and see what's up. So here it is. So the first thing you're going to do when you have taken the test successfully is you're going to go back to your iPhone, and you are going to look for the Health app. I already quickly typed it in here. Pops up the Health app, and you scroll through the different sections. You get to hearing. You select hearing, and then under hearing test results, you can obviously get your latest hearing test. You can take these as many times as you want. Multiple times a day, etc. You can obviously plot and see your hearing as it progresses over the years, the months, the days, the weeks, whatever, right? And voila, la bonne surprise. Here is my result of the AirPods Pro 2 iOS 18.1 hearing test. Two things that unequivocally scream at you from the get-go is my left and my right ear, as realized through the blue and red lines for each ear, are not in sync. In fact, perfectly normal. Audiologists will tell you that you can have up to a 10 decibel difference in both hearings, or in both ears, and that's perfectly normal. But best of all, it tells me exactly what I've noticed over the years, that my high frequency hearing has dramatically decreased, right? In fact, if I look at the screen right now, you will see that basically there is a 40 decibel gap between the linearity of up to about 3 kilohertz, 4 kilohertz from what I can hear, and then it's sharply dropping off, right? And so, again, I go back to my premise, which is, what does it all mean? Well, first of all, what it means is, amen, hallelujah. I have little to no hearing loss. What? I can't say, huh? What? Hello? Just kidding. I have little to no hearing loss, which is fantastic. I've generally always been careful about protecting my ears. I've been in this hobby since I was about 15, 16 years old. And so I've always paid attention to, hey, maybe wear some hearing protection when you're going to a concert or when you're playing super loud music, etc. Although, of course, like anyone else, I've had my fair share of discotheques with blasting music and such. And of course, car audio, etc. Headphones, normally, typically. But I've done a pretty good job of always trying to make sure, okay, hey, keep it in moderation. And so I have little to no hearing loss. And if you look at the graphs, typically above 25, 26 decibels of hearing loss, the dBHL that's noted there, is when you start realizing that you have, faint hearing loss, moderate hearing loss, extreme hearing loss, severe hearing loss, et cetera, et cetera. And, obviously what that means is that, you're going to have to amplify it. You're going to have to speak a lot louder for someone to hear you, or for you to hear someone. Music's not going to sound full range anymore. You're probably going to have hearing aids, et cetera, et cetera. Now, here's an interesting comment as well, or observation, I should say, which is that I've noticed in years going to HiFi shows that there's many people that go to HiFi shows with hearing aids, right? Frankly, all it means to me is that, yes, you can still enjoy music if you have hearing aids, right? You can still enjoy music if you're deaf in one ear and only have the other ear to listen to music to, right? But what does it all mean? What's it all mean, Basil? Well, I mean, if you're deaf in one ear, you can't hear stereo. Fact and foremost, or first and foremost, fact, right? Because you're only able to process sounds through one ear, right? So, forget about discussing anything stereo related. If you have tremendous high frequency drop off, as you will normally have anyway as you get older, and if you're a man, how are you describing high frequencies or high frequency resolution in an audio system? I don't know. Again, would you lay more credence to a 20-year-old describing that than you would a 50 or 70-year-old? Or not, right? Does it make any difference to you? I don't know. Anyway, it's pretty interesting. Again, I would like to challenge the entire industry and community to take me up on my challenge to take this test, post your results, right? Nothing to be shy or coy about. It is fact of normal life. And drop your comments below. I mean, this is an interesting topic that, again, is not being discussed in HiFi circles. And I know for a fact that there are many reviewers out there that are hard of hearing, have all kinds of hearing issues, and yet they're still reviewing and writing about HiFi gear. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Always lovely to see you guys. As I said, happy Thanksgiving to you all, and we will tune into another episode very soon. Ciao.